rescue. It's the Red Arrow! As said, team arriving in our world famous Diamond 9 and our trademark red, white and blue outside the back. As they pull up, you can really see that platform of our trademark Diamond 9 as the white smoke comes on, and Reds 8 and 9 make their way left and right to change the shape from Diamond 9 into 9 Arrow. The team arrive at around about 450 miles per hour. They'll reach a height of about 5,500 to 6,000 feet over the top of that loop, before Red 1 brings them down to our minimum altitude over the sea, which is about 300 feet, and then twists them around to the left. Leading the team this year, we have a new Red 1, a new team leader for 2024. That's squad leader John Bond, known as Bundy. He's been in the Red Arrows 5 years before previously. He took a year out in 2023 before joining us as the team leader for 2024. 6 and 7 splits at the back there. Coming in from the left, the smoke comes on for Big Vixen. Bundy is a former Typhoon pilot and a former qualified flying instructor on the Tucano, where he was the Tucano display pilot in 2012. There are actually 11 pilots on the Red Arrow. You have Reds 1 through 9 displaying for you today, and then myself, Red 10, former Tornado GR4 pilot, former qualified flying instructor on the Hawk T-Mark 2. I fly the spare jet everywhere and also do some photo chasing. But of course, we are commanded by Wing Commander Adam Collins, Red 11, former Tornado GR4 pilot, and he flew the F-111 while on exchange with the Royal Australian Air Force. The team changed formation, and in celebration of tribute to all those participants of D-Day earlier this year, we celebrated the 80th anniversary. To pay tribute and commemoration to all those took part, this is Spitfire. On the right of Red 1 is Red 2, squad leader Chris McCann. Chris is in his first year on the team, and uniquely he was taken from training and straight into an instructor role on the Tucano. After which he then joined the world famous 617, the Dambuster Squadron, flying the Tornado GR4, where he received an Air Force Cross for service over Afghanistan. His opposite number on the left hand side is Red 3, Flight Lieutenant Dustin Wales, known as Dusty, originally from Zimbabwe. He's a former Typhoon pilot, first year on the team. He's flew with 11 Squadron, instructor on 29 Squadron, and was also on the Test and Evaluation Squadron, 41 Squadron, all based at RIAT Coningsby in Lincolnshire. The smoke comes on from Reds 4 and 5 as all the left and right sections either side of that centre step make their way rearwards for the next formation. And November 2023, it was the 20th anniversary of the final flight of one of the most iconic aircraft ever created in aviation history. As the team roll out, there is no mistaking the wonderful and majestic shape of the iconic Concorde. Once again, the team pull up at over 450 miles per hour. The expertise of the pilot showing maintaining formation in a looping manoeuvre. And not only that, we make it even more difficult as we change the shape from Concorde into Cygnus. The aircraft now slowing to over 120 miles an hour at the top of that loop, 5,500 feet up. The controls being a lot less responsive. The pilot's working extremely hard to maintain that formation. Conversely now, this aircraft is starting to accelerate to 200, 300, 400 miles per hour as Red 1 brings the Cygnus formation around to the left. Keep your eye on the wings of that signet formation. As those wings start to flex forward as Reds 4, 6, 8 and 9 move forward, and 6 and 7 at the back start to split. All the pilots now looking left and right down their left hand and right hand shoulders towards Red 1. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Blackpool, get your cameras ready for the colourful Phoenix! In the middle of that right wing is Red 4, Flight Attendant Ollie Sutherland. He's in his second year at the team. He was Red 4 last year. He remained as Red 4 and took up the role affectionately known as Uncle Enid. This means he is a mentor, works alongside Red 1 during winter training to ensure that the pilots attain and maintain the appropriate standards required of a Red Arrows pilot. All the Red Arrows must have 1,500 master hours before they can apply to join the team, be assessed as above average, and have one operational tour. They are then taken through a rigorous selection process, and we take all the applicants down to the final 3 who join the team for the new season at the end of the previous one. The team now coming round from the right for the chevron roll. Front row on the left-hand side is Flight Lieutenant George Holiday. Red 5 in its first year on the team. He's a former Typhoon pilot, had flown operations over Syria and Iraq, as well as the Eastern European Air Policing Patrol in the face of the aggressive Russia. But of course, the Red Arrows is not just about the pilots. We have a team of over 140 personnel, 120 there are the engineers, the mechanics, the public relations, the administrators, and they are known as the Blues, due to the colour of their coveralls that they are wearing. And we have a number of Blues with us today. We have myself, we have AS1 Lewis here on the plinth with me, and we have Corporal Dye outside the front, and we have a number of Blues at our public relations tent. So please pop along during the day, have a word with them, find out about their roles in the Royal Air Force, and of course their roles in the Red Arrows. You'll see the team now start to split with Reds 8 and 9 sitting on trail on the rest of the formation for one of the most popular, if not the most popular manoeuvre the Red Arrows fly. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get your cameras ready. It's the Tornado! The board call is made from Red 9 as Reds 8 and 9 roll around the smoke of the rest of the formation. But watch that colour change as Red 1 brings the team around down the line. In the front section of aircraft interior, they are flying with their air and the base of the aircraft towards the rear. This has twofold effect. The first effect means the pilot is flying with a higher throttle setting, and thereby it produces a hotter engine gas temperature. And that makes the smoke colours burn a lot more brightly. In addition to that, it disturbs the airflow outside the back of the aeroplane and makes that smoke billow a lot more fuller. And therefore, in certain manoeuvres in the show, we will use it to enhance those manoeuvres. Instead, we have the Blues on the team, but inside those Blues are 11 individuals who get to fly in the back of our aircraft, in between displays when we cannot take the full engineering complement. They are known as Circus. And one individual will be at every show is Circus 10, that's Corporal Phil Dye here with me today. He's out front filming the show for safety and DVC purposes. And he is also responsible for many of the videos and the pictures taken from my aircraft to see across social media when we're flying around the display. As we come to the end of the first half, this will be your last opportunity to get a picture of the Red Arrows in our iconic Diamond 9. So from the right, in Diamond 9, the Red Arrows. As we go into the second half, you'll now see a manoeuvre not flown since 2003. Get your cameras ready, it's a 5-4 flip. break down into two distinct sections. Going off to the right you have reds 1 through 5, they are now known as Enid, named after Enid Blyton's famous 5 from the children's book. Off to the left you have 6, 7, 8 and 9 known as Hannah, named after squad leader Ray Hannah, one of the most famous aviators in RIAT history. He was one of the first members of the Red Arrows, the only team leader to lead the team for 4 years. He took the team from a 7-ship to a 9-ship and formed our trademark Diamond 9. Enid from the right, Hannah from the left, for the 5 for cross. Keep your eye on Enid to the left-hand side. The Red Arrows were formed in 1964 with our first public display in 1965. And we were actually formed from 3 different teams who were around at the time. The Red Pelicans, the Black Arrows and the Yellow Jacks. We took the red from the Red Pelicans, the arrows from the Black Arrows, and we took the aircraft from the Yellow Jacks. And in celebration and commemoration to that aircraft, from the right, Enid flying the Gnat. The Red Arrows continued to fly the Gnat right the way up until 1980, where we took control of the Hawk T-Mark 1. This is the aircraft that we still fly today. The Hawk itself is 50 years old this year. It's an extremely agile and extremely fun aircraft to fly, and one of the favourites of all the pilots that fly it, and are perfect for the job that the Red Arrows require them to do. As Enid goes to the left, look directly to your front and looking for the smoke of red 6, 7, 8 and 9 as the red and blue come on from red 8 and 9. Get your cameras ready. It's the Hannah break. We have red 7 and 8 to our left-hand side, red 6 and 9 to our right-hand side. And attention, the synchro pair are led by the synchro leader, that is red 6, Flight Lieutenant Stuart Rogers, off to our right, over white. He was in his 3rd and final year on the team. He's a former Typhoon pilot with 11 and 12 squadron base at RIAT Coventry and has taken part in numerous operations overseas. Each pair of aircraft will now dive down to approximately only 100 feet above the sea. They'll have a closing speed of anywhere between 800 and 900 miles per hour, looking to pass each other within only 30 metres. Get your cameras ready once again for the Hannah pass. Red 6 and 7 stay flat. Red 6 to our left, red 7 off our right. Red 7 is working as Tom Hansford. Covers in his 2nd year of the team. And red 3 last year is the former Typhoon pilot, former qualified weapons instructor on the Typhoon, as red 6 and 7 turn to each other for Cyclone. As the synchro pair leave directly to our front, coming in from the left-hand side over the central pier is Red 9, travelling at over 450 miles per hour. Red 9 is Flight Lieutenant Patrick Kershaw, known as Paddy. Paddy is also in his 3rd and final year of the team. He's the former Tornado GR4 and Typhoon pilot, qualified flying mission on the Hawk, as he lines up with Enid in the distance for the Goose. Red 9 climbing high, floating the red, the white and the blue on its vertical climb, as Red 1 brings Enid around to the right. As Enid leaves to our front left-hand side, look directly to your front. You just about see the synchro pair running in. Red 6 leading Red 7. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get your cameras ready. This is the one you do not want to miss. The smoke comes on for the world famous Synchro Heart. And coming in from the top right hand side, you might just be able to see Red 8 as he smokes and spears the heart. Red 8 is Flight Attendant Fitz Walker, former Harrier pilot, former Typhoon pilot, and instructor of the Hawk T Mark II. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Red 6, 7 and 8 a massive round of applause for the wonderful heart in the skies of Blackpool. And I personally would like to dedicate today's heart to my parents, Carol and Keith, who are sitting just on the front to my left hand side. Love you lots, Mum and Dad. Keep an eye for Red 6 and 7 once again diving down to only 100 feet. They'll have a close speed of over 800 miles per hour. They'll pass each other with only 30 metres to go unsighted at the last possible second for opposition barrel roll. As the synchro pair lead through with look to your front onto the left hand side, Red 1 bringing Enid in, joined by Red 8 and 9. Once again pulling up at over 450 miles per hour, Red 1 will twist them around to the right. Once again, get your cameras ready for the Vixen vertical break. Will be on. This time you've got Red 6 coming in from the left, Red 7 coming in from the right. Once again, down at only 100 feet, close speed up to 900 miles per hour. They'll pass each other within only 100 feet, wing tip to wing tip. Each aircraft will conduct a 363 aileron roll. It's the call from Red 6. Each aircraft now pull up to 6G, which means everything about them is now weighing 5 to 6 times heavier than what you and I are as we stand on the promenade. They'll reach a height of over 2,500 feet. They'll reach 60 degrees inverted on the way down before rolling the correct way up to complete the manoeuvre we call the boomerang. As the synchro pair once again leads to our rears, up to your front right hand side, just over the top of the lifeboat, you'll see Enid runs back in with the white smoking trail. The red, white and the blue comes on as Red 1 flies a barrel roll manoeuvre, leaving a snake-like smoke trail in the sky in the first part of a manoeuvre we call the Serpent. As the team come past, you can really see our world famous red, white and blue. That red, white and blue is only capable due to the smoke pod, which is a small tank under the belly of the aeroplane. That smoke pod is capable of producing approximately 5 minutes of white smoke, 1 minute of red smoke and 1 minute of blue smoke. With each of the colours having their own individual button on the pilot's control column, and through winter training we come up with a smoke plan to ensure we have the right colour smoke at the right time in the display and that we do not run out. Red 2, 3, 4 and 5 now moved up alongside Red 1, pulling up to 4G, looking 90 degrees along their shoulder. The smoke comes on to finish off the coils of the Serpent with the Enid in tango formation. on to our left 45, coming in from the left, just on top of, from the left hand side over the top of the pier, you can see Hannah running back in. 6 rolling in. Easing off at 6 now, has to push, and then start to roll to do an inverted barrel roll. Red 6 now working hard against the negative G. That means all the blood now is rushing into his head. Working hard as Red 7, 8 and 9 hold on to his wings to complete the manoeuvre called mirror roll. And the manoeuvre finished by a rollback conducted by Red 9 on the left and Red 8 on the right. Look to your left-hand side, and you can see Enid running back in once again over the top of the pier. The smoke coming on from Enid. 2 and 3, roll goes. 2 and 3, roll to the outside. Clear goes, Red 4 and 5, roll to the outside. In one of the hardest manoeuvres for our new pilots to master this year, this is the rollback. Red Arrow is a clap, which means excellent. That means every single member of the team, from the officer commanding all the way down to the newest member, is striving for excellence in everything that we do. And we'd like to think that we leave the squadron in a better place from when we found it. Look directly to your front, you'll see Hannah running back in. As I said, 2024 celebrates our Diamond display season, our 60th anniversary. Look for Red 8 and 9, Red 8 smoking blue, Red 9 smoking red. For those of you at Crowd Centre, you will see a wonderful 60 in the sky to celebrate 60 display seasons of the Red Arrows. The show's not over, keep your eye on Red 6 and 7 once again, they'll pop up to approximately 1,000 to 1,500 feet. They'll turn hard back towards the display line for their final manoeuvre of the show. Back down to that 100 feet, that closing speed is over 800 miles per hour. Each aircraft performing this dynamic barrel roll for the colourful and dynamic synchro double roll. Once again, please to our rear, look directly to your front and you'll see the nose light twinkling in the distance of Enid plus 8 and 9 for the victim break. Blackpool, it's been an honour and a pleasure. Please put your hands together for the 2024 Royal Air Force Aerobatic. It's the Red Arrow! Taken back to Blackpool Airport. As said, our engineers will turn the aircraft, they'll refuel and put tire smokers. They'll turn the aircraft, put fuel in it, put new tire smokers in, get ourselves ready for our fly past at Edinburgh this evening. If you'd like any more information about Red Arrows, of course we're all across social media. We're on Facebook, RIAT Red Arrows. On Instagram, RIAT Red Arrows. All the pilots have their own accounts. I am at RIAT Red 10. Find me, you'll find the rest of the pilots. About the hairs on the back of your neck. superb. Absolutely superb. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to get much out of me while this aeroplane performs. This is TA-474. It was built as Harvey near Chester in May 1945. Saw no operational service. And because of that, it's way too high size to go. The aeroplane carries lots of different markings on either side. One side carries the markings of 460 Squadron Royal Australian Air Force, the other side 50 Squadron Royal Air Force. Lancaster, operated by the Blackpool Memorial Flight, for Coningsby, Lincolnshire. All its air crew are volunteers. And the aeroplane stands for the incredible sacrifice of the air crew of Bomber Command throughout World War II.
Big enough.
Sleeping aircraft such as this flying the gargantuan tank. There's that generous Bombay I was talking about.
memory of the Aircraft Bomber Command. You also remember the hand of Dave Haliquat, Short Sterling, Vickers Wellington, the sample built down the road here at Squad Gate. Rolling in from the south, the undercarriage down. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lancaster comes past. Big wave through the and you can see Blackpool clap and yell. You may well see, ladies and gentlemen, Battle of Memorial Flight, Avro Lancaster. Ladies and gentlemen, a nation that ignores its past has no future. Lest we forget, lest we forget. John Orrell. L39 Aviation has been established at Blackpool. It's developing as a regional centre for jet warbirds, and this is their flagship. Czechoslovak designed Albatross, first flew in 1968, directly competing with the Hawk. It was widely used throughout Soviet bloc air forces, and in a much degenerated form is still in production. New customers are Hungary, Vietnam, and around 800 examples have been built. Was part of a special commission intended to be used by the National Aerobatic Team. It was recently completed a 2-year refurbishment, and as I said, it's operated just down the road. The L-39 equipped for ground attack. And in recent years the type has proved very popular with contractors who are flying target facilities for NATO airports. Is the Vans RIAT, 180 horsepower, piston engine, give you about 220 miles per hour. The build in a garage, all metal construction, thousands upon thousands of rivets. Formed in 2014, the team travel extensively and give displays in Europe, France, Spain, Portugal, amongst others this year. We're very happy to have them in front of us now. As Squadron Leader Graham Muscat was saying, Red 10, formation flying is about following the leader. Keeping the aeroplane in the dance, in the choreography of 3 dimensions in front of you. Just like the Reds, the Ravens can break. Now we'll watch that smoke, ladies and gentlemen. At the moment we've got something like an 8 knot on crowd wind. That means the Ravens are having to fight being permanently blown towards us, and that's not a safe thing. So they have to be correcting their aerial ballet all of the time. Raven 1 is Simon Sid Shirley, ex-Royal Air Force fast jet, including Tornado, F-3s and service in the Balkans in 1990s. Sid Shirley could fly jets before he could drive, he tells me here. As the duo enter another role, Raven 2 is Pete Wells, self-confessed air junkie. 6,000 hours, all on tail draggers. He went solo on his 16th birthday. Raven 3 is Barry Gwynett, experienced general aviation pilot. Had a private pilot's license for 36 years. Flies a Piper Pawnee as a glider tug. And just to give his hand in, he's rebuilding a Stolt Starduster in his garage. As we twist around the main formation, Raven 4 is Gerald Williams, who's originally a professional rugby player. You meet him, you will know that. Wales, New Zealand, South Africa. Very experienced former on ex-military jets. He's flown the L-39 that we saw earlier. Raven 5 is Russ Equell, learned to fly gliders at 11. He's ex-Fleet Air on Sea Kings, Sea Harriers, and has 60 combat missions to his credit over the Balkans. And Raven 6 is Mark Southern, an airline pilot, but I assure you, if he's flying you to a holiday destination, he won't be flying like this. Get your cameras ready, ladies and gentlemen. Back on the stick. There goes the brake. And again. Our duo roll out, the main formation roll back in from the south. Smoke works just on the same way as the red arrows, injecting diesel into the hot exhaust. And the main formation now brakes.
Now the red arrows can do it, so can Team Raven. Another heart in the sky, and that's love. There goes Cupid. I think that deserves a round of applause. Meanwhile, in the north, and now we begin a tail chase to form up. Each machine slotting back into its position. They roll out. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Raven coming in from the south. On with the smoke. And now we start the twizzle. Team Raven is supported by Fortis Watches, MT Propeller, USA. Here comes the break. How's that for a sculpture in the sky?
The main set off the have you texted them?
Ladies and gentlemen, that was exceptional. We've been treated by the best of best aerobatic teams today. Put your hands together for Team Raven. Good win. And I can give it away now, can't I? In the jet pit. Joining me is the engineer for this magnificent aeroplane, Colin Hales. Now, this being the way it is, we just wait a moment and listen, don't we? We do. This aircraft does not make the normal noises.
20 minutes ago I strapped Richard into the aircraft. It's actually strange, normal harnesses aren't sufficient. We have to ratchet strap Richard into the aircraft so he can maintain control while upside down and all these maneuvers. Richard is ratchet strapped into that aircraft.
Here we go, the smoke is on, that's a knife edge. I've got the wrong soundtrack on, that is a jet.
Yes, there are two AMG jet turbine engines additional to the piston engine that you can hear, giving it a power ratio more than the weight of the aircraft.
So this machine can become a helicopter if it feels like it.
It can climb vertically and it can hover.
You heard it here first. Now, we're looking around at the crowd and they're all transfixed, and I don't blame them. So where are these jets?
Bolted both sides, the left and to the right of the cockpit, about midstream, so there's no thrust vector required. The lower below the aircraft is actually tilting in out of the jet, but they're about mid-plane and they supply the power equally and very harmonically.
And I take it we're looking at a unique aeroplane.
Richard wants to bring a unique aircraft to the air shows. You, the audience, you want to see something different. So over the last 4 years, we've developed an aircraft which is completely and totally unique for you people here today.
Awesome. Now, the airframe itself is not stock. It's S1, is it?
It's S2E, and there's nothing. The wings are modified, the tailplane's modified, the rudder's modified, all for bigger flight control. The aircraft actually is quite heavy at the moment. It uses 60 litres of fuel in just a 10 minutes display. So the aircraft is quite heavy at the moment. In about, as we come to the end of the display, the aircraft is a lot lighter. It's a different animal, and then we can do the hovering manoeuvres.
Colin, you were telling me about three fuel tanks.
Indeed, we have obviously aviation jet fuel for the turbine engines on the aircraft. We have the avgas with gasoline for the petrol engines, but we also need another tank for the smoke oil for the explosion coming out the back.
And you get all of that inside such a diminutive biplane.
It's a very complicated aircraft. It's like a microbrewery in there.
As you saw then, we can use different types of thrust, so we could actually open one jet to full on the right, and therefore we can do two different engines then, with differential thrust from the two jet engines. So we're talking asymmetrics on this.
Indeed, yes. So here we'll be coming into one of the first of the hovering manoeuvres. The aircraft will be slowed to a very high alpha altitude, and then the aircraft will be vertically stationary in the sky.
unfortunately. There is another aeroplane later on in this display that can do that sort of thing, but it costs billions.
Yes, this is developed by Richard himself. He's put most of the money and effort, along with the sponsors, of course, everybody, which we couldn't work without. But yeah, this is his own project. He's a man, I've not met any other, so enthusiastic about what he's doing and his performances.
Working on this aeroplane is, one, satisfying and challenging.
It's challenging because it's quite a new aircraft, therefore we have to study and monitor all the safety aspects of the airframe as it's put through. It's quite a high stress load. There's a manoeuvre coming up now. It's difficult in these conditions, but it's going to actually try and create a Christmas tree in the sky. So, as we see soon, he'll come back down low, then he'll spiral upwards, come to the top as a star at the top of the tree, and then do a spiral loop down to the centre to make the stem of the tree. Difficult in these conditions, but let's see if he can do it.
As I was saying before, we've got at least an 8-knot on-crowd wind. Got to take that into account all the way through building this picture.
That's the base of the tree, and he'll now climb with full thrust of the engines and try and come to a halt at the top to become the star at the top of the tree. This is not an easy manoeuvre to do. And then when he comes to a halt at the top, he'll then do a flat spin and create the trunk of the tree. Some days it looks fantastic, the conditions of the wind are going to blow the tree away today, but I've seen it and it's fantastic in nil wind conditions.
Colin, nobody here is in the slightest upset. This is incredible.
And that's the trunk of the tree.
And the smoke goes on. Started with a nice page. Here we go with another one.
And now the aircraft is a lot lighter. It's used 60 litres of jet fuel, and now we're going to more hovering manoeuvres with a much lighter aircraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, yell, clap, Rich Goodwin, the Jet Pits.
and gentlemen, I want you to remember that departure. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks also, engineer beyond belief, if you're looking after that aeroplane.
That's what.
Pick up this pilot by Phil Pickett, and the company that operates it wonderfully named place daily. Based in Dublin, Cambridge. As you see, it is a flying boat. Technically, we should really call it an amphibian. Bicycle and carriage. Very, very adaptable, beautiful aeroplane. Ladies and gentlemen, the magnificent plain sailing Catalina. So why is it the shape it is? This machine is designed for very long range patrol. And I'm talking 12, 14 and occasionally 16-hour patrols. That huge wing, designed by a man called Davis, also designed the ultra-long fin wing on the B-24 Liberator, is basically a flying fuel tank. Now, if you're landing on water, the last thing you want is for the water to engage with those beautiful radial engines. So you need those engines as far up as you could possibly get them. Now you can do that with a very, very deep fuselage, like the Sunderland flying boat that Coastal Command used during World War II. But here, you can see what they've done, put the wings up and the engines up as far away from that boat-like hull by putting them on a very large pylon, giving it a unique shape. When you kept it down in the water, you will not be doing that today, ladies and gentlemen. Those propellers, the engines are as far away from the spray as possible. Come back round, you'll see that behind the wing on the fuselage are two very large bulbous observation areas. As from the wingtips down come the tip floats to give the aeroplane balance in the water. Take a look at the bottom of the hull, the short fuselage, flying boat, either. You'll see that it has a shape, just like you see on a motorboat. The machine was built by Canadian Vickers in Quebec, ordered for the Royal Canadian Air Force. It served after the war as a fire bomber, scooping water off the sea, dropping it on forest fires in Canada and then in France, and back to Canada. As I said, into the UK, 2004. This machine is painted as Miss Pickup. Scantily clad lady on the nose, white picture. Well, this machine, the colours that it serves in, the 5th Emergency Rescue Service that were based at Halesworth in Essex. And in 1944, this very machine that is painted as was trying to rescue a P-51 Mustang, of which you will see one later. The pilot was in the water in a raft, and the Catalina landed alongside. But the sea state was so bad, the Catalina, having rescued the pilot of the P-51, couldn't take off. I went back to 1944, March 1945. Having wandered in the water for some time, the aeroplane saw an amazing aircraft go overhead, a bit like the Swordfish that we saw before. It was a Lancaster T-10, twin-engine jet with a Luftwaffe, which promptly shot the Catalina up and sunk it. Suddenly, the rescuers and the rescued needed rescuing. Fear not, the great Yarmouth lifeboat went out and rescued P-51 pilot and the crew of Miss Pickup. Now last month, the machine was on a very special mission. It went up to Solomon Bow on the Shetland Islands, where Coastal Command Catalinas were based and made incredibly long-range patrols up towards Iceland, and up there, while it was in Solomon Bow, they commemorated several VCs and had the privilege of meeting the surviving, nearly 104-year-old veteran of Coastal Command. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the incredible Consolidated Catalina from plain sailing. Put your hands together and wave. They will see you. Magnificent. Back to Blackpool Airport. Nose wheels and two enormous main wheels will pop out from the side of the fuselage. Bring our flying boat down onto the berth. Based at wonderful Blackpool Airport. These lovely machines, stemming from the early 1950s, represent what was in 1945 Mission Impossible. The Royal Air Force put out a specification, a need for an aeroplane to replace the venerable, much-loved de Havilland Tiger Moth biplane trainer. The aircraft that won was what you see in front of you, the de Havilland Canada Chipmunk. De Havilland's Canadian offspring developed this beautiful aeroplane, and the prototype flew for the first time in 1946. It entered Royal Air Force service in 1949. Now here's an interesting factoid. Let's do it. Let's use these right. Here's a factoid. Entered service with the Royal Air Force 1949. Two de Havilland and Chipmunks are still in Royal Air Force service with the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight coming to an mission. Chipmunks were used with the Canadians and the Brits for basic flying training, and also with the extensive organisation of university air squadrons and air experience flights, and also for basic training in the Army Air Corps and the Fleet Air Arm. Over 1,200 were built in Canada, the United Kingdom, and in Portugal. It's an oversimplification to say that the chipmunk tiger moth without the upper wing, but they certainly have similar qualities. Havilland 60 major engine in this case, 145 miles per hour. Sorry, 145 miles per hour, or thereabouts. As you can see, fully aerobatic. Must be pounds of pilots who over their first solo steps in the sky to the Chipmunk. Essentially always full aeroplane. Chipmunk briefly saw operational flying cycling in 1958-59 with 114 Squadron observing terrorist forces. But its main claim to fame when it comes to military operations fascinating part of the Cold War. Under the Potsdam Accord, the air corridors into the League of Berlin could be flown and policed by the occupying powers. That was Great Britain, the United States and France. So at Gatow in Berlin, the Royal Air Force based a couple of Chipmunks, and they were there from 1953 to 1989, and it was described that they were there to prove the right to fly around the airspace and through the corridors. Throughout that time, the man in the back seat who not only was there to make sure they did not stray out of the corridors, because if they did, they'd find a MiG on their wing. But that man also had a very high-powered camera and was busy clicking away at Soviet and East German installations on either side of their track. The fall of the Berlin Wall, clandestine operations was no longer needed. Powering in, join up. Sequence come together. A lovely performance by two venerable aircraft. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in from the north, the Rolls-Royce Heritage Flight. I hope that's tingling the hairs on the back of your neck. Wonderful. Flying the Spitfire today is Graham Pemberton and the Mustang Alistair Steg Williams. Griffin, ladies and gentlemen, was a more powerful second generation version of the Merlin, introduced in 1942, and perhaps best known for powering the incredible Mark 14 Spitfire from 1943. Split. I know it knows them, it made the famous flute-like sound of air passing over the 6 gun ports to its leading edge of the point. Our Spitfire Mark 19 saw active service from January 1945. In those days, photo reconnaissance, precision photo reconnaissance, unarmed, unafraid, and in harm's way. There you are, there's the Mustang turning itself into a musical instrument again. The Spitfire last served with a temperature humidity flight, with a meteorological data gatherer and Wood Vale, just down the road of Southport. Retired in April 1952, no less. He was transferred to the Biggin Hill Station flight, which in 1957 became the Battle of Britain Memorial flight. He was Rolls-Royce since 1996. Mustang was built in 1944, Dallas, Texas. It has an American Packard-built Merlin, which the Americans call the V-1650. Served with the Royal Canadian Air Force, 1951 to 1960. Then was a civil operator in Canada in 1968, and it served in Norway with a civilian until 1980 to 2012. In the UK and Finland. And provide the perfect foil against that beautiful Mark 19 Spitfire. out. Ladies and gentlemen, the Swordfish feared throughout the war by the Italian and the German navies. This machine was designed simply to kill warships. It may look antiquated, it may look lumbering, but it's exactly what's needed. Over hostile seas to track, find, and put a torpedo in the water. And wreak havoc. In November 1940, the Swordfish became world famous. 21 of these biplanes effectively took out the Italian battle fleet at Taranto Harbour. And the way they did it was in such a manner that the Japanese were inspired to conceive Pearl Harbor. Going in low and slow and dropping their torpedoes, the enemy anti-aircraft fire remarkably could not get a bead on them. The havoc they wreaked was exceptional. And then in 1941, it was a Swordfish that put paid to the Bismarck. Its torpedo only just clipped the mighty battle cruiser, but it clipped it sufficiently to disable the rudder, allowing the Royal Navy to finish it off. This machine was built by Blackburn at Sherburn in Elbert in Yorkshire in 1941 and carries the markings of an 820 Squadron, Naval Air Squadron. Swordfish that was indeed involved in the attack on the Bismarck. Swordfish operated in the most arduous conditions, from small aircraft carriers in the Atlantic and on the Arctic convoy. Their aircrew had to be prepared to operate from tiny aircraft carrier decks that were pitching, yawing and rolling, and off to find a target. And then they come back, hoping upon hope that that floating airfield that they'd left was more or less in the same place when they returned. Under the fuselage, a replica, I hasten to add, torpedo, the very reason the aeroplane was developed. wings folded back to allow easy stowage on a carrier deck. Later in the war, in an anti-shipping mode, Swordfish was fitted with 8 rocket projectiles, 4 under each wing. And the aeroplane yet again entered a new lease of life. Both our aircrew are volunteers, Glenn and Paul. Used to fly together on commando configured Western Seeking helicopters. They crewed the Swordfish over the years on and off since 2011. Pilot Glenn these days flies the 750 squadron from Rhodes in Cornwall on the Beechcraft Avenger, aircrew trainer. Paul, he's on Merlin helicopters from the Overland.
That Typhoon was on this Saturday.
Why? Where are you going? I'm not going to go there. I can't get it properly. Is that it? Wait a minute then. 74 now. The longest 5 minutes, mate. 10 minutes at the most. Nice guy. It's actually okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming in, slow and
Where
fast.
is it?
Come on, feel the noise. Power comes to repair of Eurojet EJ200 turbofans. 40,000 pounds of standing thrust. I'm not going to give you many stats on this aeroplane, but here's a few. Rate of roll, phenomenal. Rate of climb, phenomenal. Agility, phenomenal. You get the picture? Now that's what 700 miles an hour looks like. Now, this is the high alpha I was talking about. Totally fly-by-wire controls. It can do things that no other airplane can do. Holding itself at low speed, totally controllable. I put the torches on the afterburner. Before with the jet heads, and I assure you, Lieutenant David Turbo Turnbull is not frightening the bejeebers out of that airliner up there. Ladies and gentlemen, what a way to depart. Put your hands together. Air traffic police, tell Turbo that. Brilliant stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, should you so wish, we do it all again tomorrow. Lots to see and do. Please